February 28, 1983. In St. Louis, Missouri, two men searching for auto parts entered the basement of an abandoned apartment building on Clemens Avenue. The structure was dark, silent, and nearly collapsing in on itself. As the men stepped deeper into the basement, one flicked a lighter to see through the darkness. The flicker of the flame revealed something that would change the city forever: the body of a young girl, lying face down on the cold floor of the furnace room. She had been decapitated. Her hands were bound behind her back. And the brutality of the scene made one thing clear: this was not where she had died. There was almost no blood. Whoever killed her had done so somewhere else, drained her body, and then carried her into this decaying building to dispose of her like discarded trash. Detectives arrived within minutes, and what they found shocked even the most seasoned officers. The victim was not a small adult, as they initially believed. She was a child. A young African-American girl between 8 and 11 years old, standing somewhere between 4 feet 10 and 5 feet 4 inches tall. She weighed around 70 pounds. She was found wearing only a long-sleeved yellow V-neck sweater. No pants, no shoes, no undergarments, and no identification. The sweater's tag had been carefully cut out, as if someone wanted to erase the last trace of where it came from. Her fingernails showed 2 layers of polish, purple underneath, with red sloppily painted over it. It looked like the kind of rushed, imperfect manicure a child might give herself, possibly shortly before her death. During the autopsy, medical examiners discovered she had spina bifida occulta, a small birth defect in her lower spine. It wasn't visible from the outside, but it was a medical clue that could have helped identify her, if anyone knew she had it. But nobody came forward. Not a parent. Not a relative. Not a teacher. Not a neighbor. No one ever reported a missing girl matching her description. And because her head was never recovered, investigators were unable to perform dental comparisons or a facial reconstruction. It left them with almost no way to show the public what she looked like when she was alive. The investigation hit another strange and haunting setback. In the 1980s, detectives sent the child's sweater, the only piece of clothing she had on, to a psychic, hoping for any lead at all. When the psychic mailed it back, the package was lost. The only physical item she had on her body, possibly containing DNA from her killer, vanished forever in the postal system. For years, the case went cold. The little girl, buried without her name, became known only as the St. Louis Jane Doe, and as the decades passed, her story faded from public memory. But forensic science did not stop evolving. In 2013, investigators decided to exhume her remains and attempt new testing. Even this step was complicated. Poor cemetery records had led to her being buried in the wrong plot. Forensic teams had to rely on old photographs and camera angle analysis to pinpoint her actual burial location. When her remains were finally unearthed, they carried answers locked deep within them. Scientists conducted forensic isotope testing, analyzing minerals absorbed into her bones and teeth throughout her life. These isotopes act like a biological map, revealing where a person has lived. The tests showed that she did not grow up in St. Louis. One series of results suggested she spent her life in the southeastern United States, states like Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, Tennessee, Florida, or the Carolinas. Another analysis pointed toward the Mid-Atlantic and lower Midwest, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Indiana, or West Virginia. The data revealed movement, suggesting she may have lived in more than one region during her short life. Then, more than 40 years after her murder, technology began opening doors once thought permanently sealed. By late 2025 and into 2026, advanced genetic genealogy, the same technique used to solve many high-profile cold cases, allowed forensic anthropologists to make remarkable progress. Her DNA was connected to 3 extended family trees stretching back to the late 1800s. These families had roots in Freestone County, Texas, Memphis, Tennessee, and Calvert, Alabama. While investigators still don't know her exact parents, they now have a web of distant cousins whose genetic connections may eventually lead back to her true identity. For the first time, this case has a real chance of being solved. The goal is no longer to find a direct parent match, it's to build the branches outward, using living relatives to triangulate who she was, where she came from, and who once loved her. One day, someone in one of those families may turn out to be the missing link. 40-plus years later, the little girl found headless in a St. Louis basement is no longer just a forgotten Jane Doe. She is the focus of an ongoing, determined investigation driven by science, by technology, and by people who refuse to let her story die. And those who work on her case say the same hopeful sentence again and again. One day, her headstone will be replaced, not with Jane Doe, but with her real name.